because otherwise you will be counted under DMLT. Those who are not writing roll number, no, not mentioning your department, I'll count them under DMLT. That's why I am asking everyone to write the departments. That will be good. Okay. So there are some new. Okay. So what is it that uh, alveoli? It is the primary site of gas exchange. Means it is the place where exchange of gas takes place. Gas exchange of gas means gases means those carbon dioxide and oxygen that we inhale and the carbon dioxide that we give out. So that gas exchange it takes place between the uh, capillaries, blood capillaries, and alveoli. So alveoli it is the plural term, and alveolus it is the singular term. Okay, and there are around 480 million alveoli present inside our lungs. Okay, just remember that there are like 480 million alveoli present inside the lungs. Not it is not a very less number. It is a very high number of alveoli present inside the lungs. It is a very high number. So uh, altogether they are known as alveoli, but single one, since we are taking a single one, it is known as alveolus. Okay. So exchange of gases are carbon dioxide and oxygen. So what happens? Okay, before that, this is the structure of an alveolus. Okay, this is a single alveoli, which is known as an alveolus. So these are tiny air sacs. Air sacs means empty spaces, empty air filled with air. Nothing but filled with air. Empty spaces filled with air. So this is the structure of an alveoli. There are like, as I mentioned, 480 millions like this inside your lungs. So this is the alveoli. And what happens? This carbon dioxide and oxygen, no, they are exchanged by simple diffusion. What is meant by simple diffusion? The carbon dioxide and oxygen they are exchanged by simple diffusion. Simple diffusion means uh, they pass through means they are exchanged by the help of a membrane that is known as a diffusion membrane. So we will get to know it now. What is it? So when we inhale or when inspiration takes place, okay, when we inhale or when inspiration takes place, the oxygen it enters the alveoli from this side. This arrow, red arrow you can see here. So the oxygen it enters the alveoli from this side. Okay. So now, this inside the alveoli, oxygen is present, right? The inhaled oxygen will be present inside will be stored inside the alveoli. Now, this is the blood capillary. This is the blood capillary. This red thing is, all these are red blood cells. Okay, so I guess you know, or you have, even if you have forgot, you have learned that in the red blood cells are, why are the red blood cells red in color? Why are the red blood cells red in color?
Because of hemoglobin.
Because of the presence of hemoglobin. Okay, so this oxygen. So where do you think this oxygen is carried? Oxygen is carried all around the body, right? Not only in the lungs, oxygen is present all around the body. So oxygen is transported all around the body by this red blood cells. Okay, by the hemoglobin of the red blood cells. The hemoglobin will bind to the oxygen molecules, and then they will be carried all around the body. Okay, so this blood blood flows through the capillaries. So these are the red blood cells. There are white blood cells and platelets also, but here it is shown only the red blood cells because the red blood cells are the ones who play an important role in transport of oxygen. Okay, transport means carrying oxygen to different parts of the body. Okay, and bringing the deoxygenated blood also. What is deoxygenated blood? That is also that also we will discuss. So what happens? There is hemoglobin in blood, in the red blood cells. So that hemoglobin is the pigment which gives the red color to the blood. Why? Why? If you ask, because the hemoglobin is made up of iron. Okay, iron. All of you know iron. So
Yes,
hemoglobin is
ma'am.
made up of iron, and I guess you have noticed, like when I don't know whether I have shared with you this or not, but I have explained it to some of your friends, I guess. So what happens? Like a banana flower. All of you have eaten a banana flower, I guess.
Yes,
Aldil.
yes,
Okay. So
all
that
this.
banana
Yes,
flower, what happens? When you cut a banana flower, lots of like your hand becomes dirty, all dirty, blackish
yes,
stains all over your hand. And also while cutting banana is not a ripe one, but the what to say, mm, the kacha one, the raw one. Okay. So when you cut that raw banana or when you cut a banana flower all over the hand, it stains like black color. Why is it? Because that banana flower is full of iron. Okay. So banana flour
yes,
is very good for your health because it supplies uh, means full of iron. So that is the reason why it stains. Also, you might have seen in like tubewell water full of iron, and it tends to stain your teeth and nails and everywhere. So
yes, yes,
what I want to get to is that iron it stains. Okay, iron, what happens? Iron it stains, and the color of the iron it is like something like brownish reddish brown. Okay, so
yes,
this since iron is present in the hemoglobin, that is present in the red blood cells, that is why the red blood cells are red in color. Okay,
yes,
and this oxygen it is carried by the red blood cells. The hemoglobin will bind to the oxygen molecules and then they will be carried all around the body. Okay, it will be transported all around the body. Okay, so this is the this is the blood capillaries. So before that, we will get to the diffusion membrane. Okay, for simple diffusion to occur, what I have told, like there needs to be a diffusion membrane, which means the oxygen and the carbon dioxide needs to diffuse through the diffusion membrane. Okay, so this is the diffusion membrane. That is diffusion membrane. It is made up of three layers. Okay, one is the squamous epithelium, first thin squamous epithelium of alveoli. That is this one. This is the alveolus or the alveoli, right? This is the alveolus. So this is the squamous epithelium of alveoli. This one, and next is the endothelium of alveolar capillaries. It is the layer of the capillaries. This one, endothelium of alveolar capillaries. This one, second layer. The third layer is the basement membrane between them. This whitish thing, white layer between these two layers is the basement membrane. Okay, so these are the three layers. This one is the endothelium of alveolar capillaries. This is the basement membrane. This is the squamous epithelium. Okay, so these three layers together form the diffusion membrane. So the air or the oxygen and carbon dioxide diffuses through these layers. Okay, this three together will form the diffusion membrane. So what happens? The deoxygenated blood. Now, what is deoxygenated blood? So deoxygenated blood, it is
Yes,
it is
hearing
the
noise.
blood full of carbon
Carbon
dioxide,
dioxide.
impure blood. Yes, yes, it is impure blood. So it is full of carbon dioxide, less oxygen. Okay, the deoxygenated blood can also be called as impure blood. Impure blood
yes,
means it contains a lot of
yes,
carbon dioxide and less oxygen.
yes,
So what happens? The in the capillary in the capillaries. So around, all from the lungs and all around the body, where the harmful blood or the carbon dioxide that will be produced, right? The oxygen will be like absorbed and the carbon dioxide will be produced. So this carbon dioxide carrying blood will come from this capillary. Okay, the blood capillary from this side, this arrow is given here. So this blood carrying carbon dioxide will come. Okay, this blood carrying carbon dioxide means deoxygenated blood will flow through these capillaries. Okay, but and when it reaches the alveolus or the alveoli, what happens? when it reaches the alveoli, the oxygen that is present inside the alveoli from the inhaled air. Okay, when we inhale, when we take in oxygen, the oxygen will be stored in the alveoli. So this oxygen will now, what happened? This oxygen will now diffuse through this diffusion membrane, and it will combine with the red blood cells of the blood. Okay, the oxygen was present here earlier. Now this oxygen, they will diffuse through this diffusion membrane, and it will combine with the red blood cells of the blood. Okay, you can just remember it like the oxygen, it will diffuse from the alveolus to the capillaries, and it will combine with the blood. Okay, and the carbon dioxide that was present in the blood, they will diffuse inside the alveoli. You can see these arrow marks. Oxygen will go out and carbon dioxide will come inside the alveoli. Okay, when we inhale, I'm just repeating it once again. When we inhale the oxygen, it comes and it is stored inside the alveoli. The deoxygenated blood, when it passes through these capillaries, what happens? The deoxygenated blood is full of carbon dioxide, right? So this carbon dioxide, they will diffuse inside the alveoli, and the oxygen that was present inside the alveoli from the inhaled air, that will diffuse into the blood. So it will means replace, this carbon dioxide will replace the oxygen. Okay, and it means carbon dioxide, it will diffuse inside, oxygen will diffuse outside. Okay, now what will happen to the blood? Now what will happen to the blood? The blood was earlier deoxygenated, full of carbon dioxide, but now there is no carbon dioxide because carbon dioxide already diffused inside the alveoli. Now the blood is full of oxygen. So the deoxygenated blood will now become oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood means, or oxygen rich blood. You can see here, oxygen rich blood or oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood means pure blood or full of oxygen. Okay, no carbon dioxide is there, no or less carbon dioxide is there, and it is full of oxygen. So now this deoxygenated blood will become oxygenated, and it will pass from this capillaries, and now it will be distributed all around the body. Okay, all around the body means like we have discussed about the muscle cells, right? Muscle cells for aerobic respiration. For anaerobic respiration, aerobic respiration, yes. For aerobic respiration, it requires what to say, oxygen. Without the oxygen, it will go for anaerobic respiration. So oxygen, where will it get from this, the oxygen passing, right? So what will happen? This deoxygenated blood, when the carbon dioxide is taken from this deoxygenated blood, and the oxygen from the inhaled air, that will go to this what to say, blood, then it will become pure blood, and it will now be transported all around the body. It will be like sent all around the body. Okay, sent to different sites, sent to different places all around the body to supply oxygen. Okay, now what will happen to the carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide that is diffused from this blood inside the alveoli. And so this, now carbon dioxide, they will be exhaled out. So we exhale out, and the carbon dioxide that is present inside the alveoli will be given out. Okay, is it clear? The oxygen we inhale, and it is then stored in the alveoli. Okay, then this oxygen will diffuse through this diffusion membrane into the blood of the capillaries. Okay, and this, from the capillaries, from the blood of the capillaries, the deoxygenated blood was there. So from there, the carbon dioxide will diffuse inside the alveoli. Then this deoxygenated blood, now which became pure blood or oxygenated blood, will be transported all over the body, and the carbon dioxide that is now present inside the alveoli, that will be exhaled out. Okay, that be like expiration will take place, and the carbon dioxide, it will be exhaled out. Okay, so in this, the diffusion membrane, it plays a very important role. The diffusion membrane, it is made up of three layers. This layer is the squamous epithelium. This is the endothelium of alveolar capillaries. This is the endothelium, and in between is the basement membrane. Okay, so here there is one point given, like solubility of carbon dioxide is 20 to 25 times higher than that of oxygen. So what does it mean by that? It means that the carbon dioxide, it will diffuse, right? So the diffusion rate of this carbon dioxide will be much higher than that of oxygen. Okay, oxygen will diffuse into the blood slowly, whereas this carbon dioxide will diffuse into the alveoli. It will be a little bit fast since the solubility of carbon dioxide it is higher. Okay, this is all about exchange of gas. So this is much easier than that of mechanism of respiration. Mechanism it was a little bit complex process, but this exchange of gas it is not that complex. It is simple. Just one paragraph will be there. You have to, if you understand it, you can write by your own also. But otherwise, just a paragraph and this diagram. Okay, diagram is important. Diagram is important, and a paragraph is right. I'll give you the notes. Okay, is there any doubt from here? Otherwise, I will
No,
move to
ma'am.
the disease. Please give your attendance, everyone, if you have not yet. Don't give multiple times. Once is okay. Okay. I'll assume you don't have any doubts. So, next is the disorders of respiratory system. Disorders means disease. Disease and disorders are the same. Okay. So, diseases of respiratory system means I have mentioned that in the respiratory system, in respiration or in respiration, the most important organ is, what is the most important organ associated with respiration? It is the lungs.
Lungs.
Yes, ma'am.
So, it is the lungs. So, uh, the disorders or the diseases occurring to the respiratory system or yes to the respiratory system is generally diseases occurring to in the lungs. Okay, here are two examples. One is asthma. All of you know about asthma. Most of your like family members or uh, distant relatives or people neighbors or you might have seen or friends or you might have seen people with asthma. So asthma is quite common. But there is one more disease that is emphysema, which is I don't know whether you have heard of it or not, but this is not as common as asthma. Okay, so two diseases we have to include in this chapter, that is asthma and emphysema. First about asthma. Asthma, all of you know, the asthmatic patients they suffer from coughing and difficulty in breathing. They use pumps. We have seen. I guess you have seen they use pumps when they find it difficult to breathe. They use some sort of pumps which help them to breathe. Okay, so the symptoms of asthma are difficulty in breathing and they cough and sneeze and cough. Okay, so that is the symptoms of asthma. And why is asthma caused? The causes of asthma is not causes. What happens inside the body? That is, this bronchi and bronchioles. Inflammation occurs in this bronchi and bronchioles. What is bronchi and bronchioles? I will show you diagrams, okay, of alveoli and bronchi and bronchioles. Bron- so this, let me show you. Okay, so this portion, no, so it will be like a tree and branches will be there, like this will be there. So this portion will be there. There will be like a stalk, and this portion is known as bronchioles, and there will be a bigger stalk here that will be known as bronchi. So all those are there. I'll show you diagrams. After seeing diagrams, you will be more clear about that. Okay, so bronchi and bronchioles are there, and then uh, this is the alveolus. So bronchi and bronchioles are present inside the lungs. Okay, structures that are present inside the lungs. So what happens? Those bronchi and bronchioles, two different things. Okay, bronchi and bronchioles. So bronchi and bronchioles, what happens? Inflammation occurs. What is inflammation? What is inflammation? Okay, Okay. All of you have once in your lifetime might have a pimple, right? Pimple. So
Yes.
around the pimple, what happens? It becomes red and it swells up, right? It becomes big, it swells, and around it becomes red and it pains. So that is known as inflammation. Okay, when it becomes red and when it swells, that is known as inflammation. So in the bronchi and bronchioles, also inflammation occurs. That is the walls of the bronchi and bronchioles, or the bronchi and bronchioles, they will swell. Okay, and it will become red in color and it will swell. Okay, so when that happens, the air which will pass, so it will be difficult for the air to pass. That is why we have difficulty in breathing. Okay, it is difficult to breathe for asthmatic patients because the bronchi and bronchioles, they will swell up and they will narrow the path. That is why it is difficult to breathe. Okay, and when the asthmatic patients, they use pumps, what happens? The pumps, they relieves of this inflammation for some time. Okay, these pumps are not effective for like lifetime or for 1 or 2 years. It is not effective, but it is effective for like 1 or 2 hours, 2 3 hours. Okay, what does that pump do? They sort of help with this inflammation. Okay, and then it clears the path, and then the person, they can breathe. Okay, so this is about asthma. The symptoms are, they will cough and they will have difficulty in breathing. Okay. Next, there is emphysema. Emphysema, what has happened is that emphysema, it is a chronic disorder. What is chronic? Chronic means it is long term, and it is like it will not go away like that. Okay, it is severe and it is long term. Okay, emphysema. So um, for asthma, you have seen the causes. The causes are bronchi and bronchioles. They will inflame, or inflammation will occur in the bronchi and bronchioles. But for emphysema, it is the alveolar walls. Okay, the alveolar walls and the lung tissue, they will get damaged. Lung tissue, the tissues of the lungs, and the alveolar wall, means wall of the alveoli. So all those will become damaged. Okay, then the people whose alveolar walls and the lung tissue will get damaged, they will suffer from emphysema. Okay, and symptoms are breathe, breathe will become, means short. Okay, they will find it again. This will be also find, they will find difficulty to breathe. Okay, so major cause of emphysema, it is cigarette smoking. When you smoke excessive cigarette, you have a chance of developing emphysema. But for asthma, it is not like that. It is not advisable for asthmatic patients to smoke cigarette, but cigarette smoking will not cause asthma, but it might cause emphysema. Okay, and one more thing, there is a like misconception about. I have also heard people saying that you need to stay away from asthmatic patients and don't eat from the same plate, don't share food, don't share the same utensils, don't drink from the same cup, and things like that. Okay? That is completely a misconception. That has no relevant. There is no relevance, and that has nothing to do. This asthma, it is not transmitted from one person to another. Okay, asthma does not transmit from one person to another. Whether even though you are, there is an asthmatic patient in front of you and he is sneezing in your mouth, it will not transmit. Okay, it will not transmit. It is not like common cold. Common cold, what happens? Common cold is caused by this virus. Yes,
I
it is
will
caused by virus. What is the name of that virus? Common cold, it is no caused by rhinovirus.
I
Okay,
know
the
virus. Yes.
name of the virus is rhinovirus. So, since common cold is caused by virus, it is transmittable. Okay, when we sneeze, that what happens? That virus will transmit through the air into the other people's mouth or other people's body. So then it will transmit. But for asthma, nothing of that sort will happen. Okay, because asthma is not caused by some bacteria or virus or something like that. It is a disease of the lungs and it is not caused by any virus or bacteria, and hence it cannot be transmitted from one person to another. Even though if you drink from the same cup, even though if you share the same bottle or the same bed, it will not transmit. Okay, that is a common misconception among people. I just uh, mention it because in order to enhance your knowledge that uh, this asthma it is not transmitted from one person to another. Okay, this is all. And asthma it is generally caused. It is something. It is generally allergic. Okay, allergens are present. Pollens and allergens. It is caused by all those dust, allergens, and all those things cause asthma. But emphysema it is caused generally by cigarette smoking. Okay, so these are the two diseases associated with the respiratory system. So yes, this is done. Okay, if you have any doubts from this entire chapter, the respiration, you can ask. Whole chapter. I'll give you the notes today in the group. Please ask if you have any doubts from this chapter. Okay, you can ask, but I'll show you the diagram for bronchi and bronchioles. Okay, so this is the structure of a lung. You can see. Can you see? This is the lungs, right? Two lungs are there. So this is the lungs. Okay. So this portion, this one, this is the bronchi. Okay. This portion is the bronchi. And these portions, this one, these are the bronchioles. This one, bigger one is the bronchi. Like you can imagine, this is the trunk of a tree, tree trunk. Okay,
Yes.
and these are the branches. So branches will be uh, bronchioles. Okay, and tree trunk will be bronchi, and these portions, this will be the alveoli. Okay, there are numerous alveoli you can see here. Okay, let me show you. Numerous alveoli are there. This one. So these are the alveoli. It will be present in all of them. Okay, in all of them. It is not drawn in all, but it will be present in all of them, all over the lungs. Okay, so this is the this is the alveoli. So this is the bronchi, this one is the bronchi, these are the bronchioles, and this is the alveoli. You can imagine this alveoli as the fruit, and this is the branch, and this is the trunk. Okay, you can imagine it like that. It resembles a tree also. And earlier I mentioned that the diaphragm, okay, diaphragm, it is dome shaped. This is a dome shaped diaphragm. This is the structure of a diaphragm. Dome shaped means it is like this, and this is a diaphragm. Dome shaped diaphragm. These are the ribs. This is the lungs present inside the ribs. Okay, this is the structure. Okay, I showed you just for your understanding so that you can imagine how it looks like.
Between ribs, intercostal muscle are present.
Between the ribs, yes. Here will be. It is then in this diagram the ribs are cut in half. No, that is why it is difficult to see. But otherwise, wait. Let me Yeah, this one. Two ribs in between external intercostal muscles are present. Between the ribs. This chapter is this is chapter 2 means this is the second chapter I have taught. Someone is asking, but this is not the chapter, not chapter 2. According to your routine syllabus that I have given you, I don't know which number of chapter this is, but this is the second chapter I have taught. The first was uh, excretory products and elimination. Second is freezing and exchange of gases. The next Let me see what I will teach next. Anyways, if you have any doubts, please ask. Uh, and all of you just give your roll numbers in the chat box. I'll take it from there. Um, this chapter is the third one in your syllabus. Third one, and third one and fourth one is done. So next I will be teaching the second one. Okay, circulation,
November
heart, blood vessels, double circulation, composition of blood and lymph. That chapter, circulatory system. So that will be the second next chapter. Okay, next chapter will
মেম
be
নৱেম্বৰৰ
circulatory.
পৰাতো কলেজ খুলিব আমাৰ
হা হা?
নৱেম্বৰৰ পৰাতো খুলিব কলেজ
কোনে কৈছে?
মেম সুধিছো আপোনাক খুলিব নেকি
মই নাজানো দেই, একো তেনেকুৱা কথা শুনা নাই। একো
মই
তেনেকুৱা কথা।
শুনিছো
হা?
কালি গৈছিলো মই ইউনিভাৰ্চিটিত।
কি কৈছে? খুলিব কৈছে?
নৱেম্বৰৰ পৰা খোলা কথা কৈছে।
হয় নেকি? আমাকতো একো জনোৱা নাই বাৰু। ভালেই বাৰু খুলিলে। বেটাৰ। Because this teaching online is not my thing. And it is difficult for you guys also. Those who have all the basics, then it is easy for them. But those who are like not interested to learn, it is a little bit hard for learning in online platform. You know,
Yesterday
most
I
of you people,
presented
what you
both
do,
class.
I know. I have attended webinars, okay? Multiples of webinars. What I do is that I'll join the webinar, I'll keep the mobile and I'll do my own stuff. So most of you, I also know that most of you, what you do, you just join the this one, what to say, the class, you'll give your attendance and you'll go away or roam around, or you'll just talk with your friends, you'll WhatsApp and do all your stuff. I know that there are some students who might listen, but most of you are like that. So this is not something. Yes, online teaching is good from some aspects, but from some it is not good. So it's better if class school college opens. It can open, I guess, because this corona will not go away very soon. So if you wait for this corona to go away, then you have to wait for like you have to complete all your courses at your home only. Okay.
মেম গভটেওতো ডিক্লেয়াৰ কৰিছে খুলিব বুলি
কেতিয়াৰ পৰা?
1 নৱেম্বৰৰ পৰা গভৰ্ণমেণ্টেও অৰ্ডাৰ কৰিছে চেণ্ট্ৰেলৰ পৰাতো 15 অক্টোবৰৰ পৰাই খুলিব দিছিলে
খুলিব মানে এতিয়া কি কয় তোমাৰ গোটেই ষ্টুডেণ্টছ এলাউ কৰিব নে এতিয়া স্কুলবিলাকত যে যেনেকে 20% নে কিমান ষ্টুডেণ্ট আহিব দিয়ে তেনেকে
কিবা প্ৰিকশ্যন দিব গাইডলাইন দিব
I have already given the syllabus, Samuel. I have already given the syllabus. Okay, which department you're from? Anyways, I'll share the syllabus to everyone again. For those who didn't get. I'll share the syllabus again. Okay, thank you. You can leave.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.